Imagine you're standing at a crossroads, a digital one. Two really powerful paths stretch out before you in this evolving world of AI. One path promises just incredible speed, effortless access for pretty much everyone. The other offers, well, profound, deliberate reasoning. For the really tough challenges, how do you choose? It's not really about which one is, better, is it? It's more about which one is right for what you need right now. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're unpacking that very challenge, navigating the choice between OpenAI's GPT-4o and the newer GPT-5. It's a critical decision, really, shaping how we're all going to interact with artificial intelligence moving forward.
Absolutely. And the launch of GPT-5, wow, it really sparked a debate, didn't it? I mean, you even had people saying they wish they could go back to GPT-4. That tells you something. It signals a shift, I think. We're moving beyond just like raw power measurements, aren't we?
Exactly. So it's less old versus new, and maybe more about two distinct design philosophies playing out. GPT-4o, the AI for everyone, kind of optimized for speed and cost, and then GPT-5, maybe the AI for experts, built specifically for that deep reasoning capability.
That's the core of it.
Yeah.
And look, we're not here today to give you a simple, use this one answer. That wouldn't really work. Our mission really is to give you a strategic framework, way to think about it. So we'll deconstruct their architectures a bit, look under the hood, we'll walk through some pretty rigorous real-world tests that people have run, and then crucially connect it all back to how this AI stuff is going to reshape the future of, well, your work.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with those design philosophies, what actually makes them different at a core level? Right? To really get why they perform differently, you kind of have to look at how they're built, don't you? It's like understanding the engine, the chassis, the soul of the machine, so to speak.
Yeah, let's start with GPT-4o. You got a picture, it's like a sprinter, a total masterpiece of optimization. Not really a completely new invention, but honed to perfection. Its big thing is the unified architecture. What that means is it processes text, audio, images, all inside one single neural network. So where older models might pass data along like an assembly line, 4o gets rid of that handoff. Think of it as omnipotent maybe, but more in perception. It sees, hears, reads all at the same time in one brain. Imagine catching the sarcasm in your tone, not just the words you type, because it's getting all those inputs together.
Sarcasm in tone. Wow, that actually feels like a pretty big leap. Does that mean we might finally get past those, awkward AI moments where it just takes everything so literally?
Well, potentially, yeah. Or at least closer. And to get that speed, that near-instant response, engineers probably use some clever tricks, like quantization, that's basically rounding the model weights to make it smaller and faster. Think of it like making the numbers it uses simpler, and knowledge distillation. That's like teaching a small, quick model to act like a really big, smart one. This efficiency stuff is key. It drastically cuts the cost per query, which helps democratize AI, right? Makes it cheap enough for millions to use.
So if I just need a fast, versatile AI for everyday stuff, 4o is probably my go-to.
Yeah, I'd say for that universal, reliable, quick assistance.
Yeah.
4o excels there. Okay, so if 4o is the sprinter, GPT-5. Well, GPT-5 is more the contemplative thinker, a marathon runner maybe. This feels like a real architectural jump. It's designed not just to answer, but to reason deeply. It seems to be built with something called dual system thinking, which is inspired by Daniel Kahneman's work, thinking fast and slow. So it has a system 1, a fast mode for the quick, intuitive stuff, kind of like 4o. But the big deal is it also has a system 2, a thinking mode. That one's slow, deliberate, logical for the really complex problems.
Okay, that thinking mode sounds, well, powerful, but does that mean it's always slower, even for simple things? Or can it, switch gears intelligently? How does it avoid getting, bogged down in its own deep thoughts for a quick question?
Right, that's the clever part of the dual system. It should be able to switch. And inside that thinking mode, it uses some advanced techniques, like tree of thought. That means it explores multiple lines of reasoning at the same time, kind of like a chess grandmaster thinking several moves ahead. It's also got this self-critique mechanism. Think of it like an internal checks and balances. One part, the critic, refines what the other part, the generator, comes up with, helps with quality, presumably. And then there's this pro mode people talk about, probably using a mixture of experts or MOE architecture. MOE basically means using lots of small, specialized expert AIs inside the big one. It only activates the relevant experts for a task. That helps it know a lot about specific things without forgetting general stuff. They call that catastrophic forgetting.
So GPT-5 is really engineered for problems that need, serious thought, not just quick answers off the top of its head.
Precisely. It's fundamentally about reasoning and complex problem solving. That seems to be its core design principle.
Okay. Fascinating stuff on how they're built. Really different approaches. But the million-dollar question for you listening is probably, how does this actually play out in the real world? So let's put them through this 10-round gauntlet of tests that folks have been running.
All right, let's see where GPT-5 really pulls ahead, usually in that deep reasoning and strategy zone. So round one, web development and image analysis. This was interesting. GPT-5 acted more like a solution architect. It didn't just do what it was told. It proactively suggested adding an interactive ROI calculator to a web page, explaining why strategically for conversions. GPT-4o, on the other hand, was super competent, but more like a precise coder executing instructions. Then, round five, creating a dashboard from sales data. Here, GPT-5 stepped up as kind of like a junior business analyst. It didn't just make charts. It interpreted trends, it formed hypotheses about why things were happening, and even made specific suggestions, like maybe shift marketing budget here. GPT-4o mostly just described what the charts showed, accurate but less analytical. Round six, fact-checking and citations. This is a big one, right, especially for research. GPT-5 showed significantly better accuracy here. It gave valid working links to research papers more often. I think the test showed only one broken link for GPT-5 versus 3 for 4o. And honestly, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes when trying to get good citations out of these things. You know, where the AI kind of forgets the specifics over a long chat. It's a huge challenge. So GPT-5 doing better suggests it might have some stronger internal grounding. And finally, round 8, advanced coding projects. GPT-5 didn't just spit out code. It gave a whole project structure, multiple files, clean architecture, like proper software development. GPT-4o tended to give just a single block of code, more like writing code snippets than building a system.
Okay, so it sounds like for tasks needing that strategic thinking, that complex problem solving, maybe designing systems,
Yeah.
GPT-5 really shines.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems built for that kind of deep analysis and architectural design work.
Mhm.
But let's flip it. Where does GPT-4o win? Speed, precision, user experience seem to be its strengths. Round 2, the raw speed test. 4o was almost instant, like 1 to 2 seconds total response time. GPT-5, even in its faster mode, had a noticeable delay, maybe 2 to 3 seconds. Now, that might not sound like much, but for real-time stuff like chatbots, that difference is huge. It feels much more fluid with 4o. Then, round 3, making a professional PDF document. This was stark. GPT-4o generated a basically visually perfect PDF, business ready, looked great. GPT-5, the content was insightful, definitely. But the formatting, it was described as a disaster. Slight chuckle, text overflowing, weird headings, unusable visually.
A visually perfect PDF from 4o versus insightful but, let's say, artistically challenged formatting from GPT-5. Slight chuckle. So I guess even AI genius can have trouble with layout sometimes, huh?
Exactly. Like a brilliant professor whose office is just chaos. Gets the ideas right, but the presentation needs work. It really highlights that these are tools with specific strong suits, not magic wands for everything. Okay, round 9, image generation and design. GPT-4o seemed to prioritize constraint adherence, meaning it got the aspect ratio right, put text where it was asked to, crucial for professional assets, right, like logos or banners. GPT-5 was more artistic, maybe generated more stunning images sometimes, but it often missed those technical specs. Wrong size, text cutoff. And this is a big one, round 10. Memory and long-term context. 4o was the clear winner here. Someone revisited a conversation about planning a trip days later. GPT-4o remembered the context perfectly, even the user's worries about the cold weather. GPT-5 seemed to have forgotten. It asked for clarification, like starting fresh. This is probably down to 4o's very efficient RAG system, retrieval augmented generation, which helps to pull relevant bits from past chats.
So for those quick tasks, things needing visual precision or just natural conversation over time, it sounds like 4o is still the leader for efficiency and just a smoother experience.
Absolutely. For execution speed and accuracy on those kinds of tasks, it's really hard to beat right now. But it wasn't always one winning over the other. Sometimes they tied or just showed different styles. Round 4, extracting data from documents into JSON format. Structured data stuff. Both nailed it. Flawless performance. This seems to be table stakes now for top models. They just got to be able to do this reliably. And round 7, ideation and planning. This was interesting. Both were useful, but different. GPT-4o gave a very practical bottom-up action plan, like step 1, step 2, step 3. GPT-5 went top-down. It generated more of a strategic framework, started with a hypothesis, defined success metrics, then outlined implementation. Both approaches are valuable, right? It just depends on what stage of a project you're in.
Right. So for some core tasks, they're both really capable, but their underlying design kind of leads them to approach it differently. One practical, one strategic.
Exactly. Both proficient, just bring different strengths, different styles to the table. Mid-roll sponsor read.
Okay, so we've looked under the hood. We've seen them go head to head in these tests. Fascinating stuff. But the really big question for you listening is, what does this all actually mean for your work, for the future? Because this isn't just about picking a slightly better tool, is it? This feels more like a tectonic shift.
It really is.
Yeah.
And here's the big takeaway, maybe the bombshell. These AIs, they aren't necessarily coming for your job, but they're coming to redefine it. Massively. Forget just being the executive, the person doing the task. The future, I think, is about becoming the AI orchestrator, the supervisor, the strategist. That's where the human value is going to shift and honestly, probably soar.
From executor to strategist, that's a powerful idea. It really reframes how we should think about productivity. What does that look like practically for someone listening right now in their role?
Well, let's take some examples. Developers. Yeah. They're going to be elevated, I think. Instead of writing tons of boilerplate code, which frankly, GPT-4o can probably handle pretty well. They'll focus more on high-level architecture design and on supervising AI-generated solutions, maybe using GPT-5 to explore complex options. Data analysts. They'll move beyond just making basic charts. Their value will be in asking smarter business questions up front, and then interpreting the complex outputs, maybe from GPT-5, telling the story in the data. Content creators, marketers. GPT-4o becomes their workhorse for daily stuff, emails, social posts, drafts. Fast and efficient. But they'll use GPT-5 as their strategy consultant, analyzing market reports, outlining whole campaign structures, finding deeper insights, even say lawyers or researchers. GPT-5 Pro mode, especially if those citation improvements hold up, could be a game changer for sifting through huge document sets or drafting initial arguments.
And this isn't just individual roles, right? It ripples through the entire business process.
Oh, absolutely. Think about R&D. You might use 4o to quickly summarize, 50 relevant research papers. But then you turn to GPT-5 to analyze across hundreds of sources and propose genuinely novel experimental directions based on identified gaps. Or sales, forward drafts, quick follow-up emails. But a sales manager uses GPT-5 to analyze CRM data for complex forecasts, spotting hidden risks or opportunities that a human might miss. Which brings us to a really crucial point for any business looking at this. How do you integrate these tools smartly and manage the cost? Because let's be real, a simple API call to GPT-4o might cost, what, a fraction of a cent? Super cheap. But a complex query hitting GPT-5's thinking mode, that could be 50, maybe even 100 times more expensive because it uses so much more computation. So, the smart play. Build an internal AI router. Imagine a system that automatically looks at an incoming request and figures out how complex it is. Simple question. Repetitive task. Route it to the GPT-4o API. Low cost, high speed. Done. Complex problem. Needs deep analysis. Strategic creativity. Route that to the GPT-5 API. Higher cost, but much higher value output. Whoa! Just thinking about that. Imagine scaling that to like 1 billion queries a day efficiently. The cost savings and efficiency gains would be absolutely incredible.
So essentially, you're building a smart traffic cop for AI requests, directing tasks to the most appropriate and, importantly, the most cost-effective model for the job.
Precisely. It's all about intelligent resource allocation, using the right tool at the right cost for the right task at massive scale.
Okay, so after diving this deep, it feels undeniably clear there isn't one simple answer to which model is better. Is there? The much more insightful question, the one you should be asking, is which tool is right for this specific task I need to do right now? Maybe think of GPT-4o as that incredibly versatile Swiss Army knife. It's fast, it's reliable, it's great for hundreds of everyday jobs. Always handy.
Yeah, exactly. And GPT-5, that's more like your state-of-the-art R&D lab. It might be slower, definitely more expensive to run, but it's capable of those real breakthroughs, those profound insights that could change your whole strategy.
So the wisest users, the most effective professionals moving forward, they'll become the conductor of their own AI orchestra, knowing instinctively when to call on the nimble, quick violin of GPT-4o and when it's time to bring in the deep, powerful bass of GPT-5 for that truly profound impact.
That's it. The future of productivity, I really believe, lies in this AI orchestration. It's becoming an art form, really, breaking down big problems, assigning the right pieces to the right AI model, maybe even multiple models working together, and then critically synthesizing those outputs, weaving them together to create something more valuable than any single model could do alone. Developing skills in prompt engineering and this broader orchestration, these are going to be crucial meta skills.
So the call to action is clear. Start experimenting now, today. Build your own fluency with both of these incredible tools. Play with their strengths, understand their weaknesses, because the true power isn't just in the models themselves, it's in how you learn to combine them, how you conduct that orchestra. Thank you for diving deep with us today. It's a fascinating time to be watching this space evolve. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and maybe most importantly, keep asking the right questions. OTRO Music.